In the comments, someone refers to something called Alpine divorce or Alpine abandonment. So Alpine divorce and Alpine abandonment, by what I could find, comes from a German word that basically describes somebody who's a much more experienced climber or hiker or athlete, leaving a more inexperienced person to freeze or succumb to extreme conditions.
A dating trend called the Alpine divorce has been going viral online, and people are shocked by what it involves. The term refers to situations where one partner abandons the other during a hike, climb, or outdoor adventure, sometimes after an argument or simply to move ahead faster. The person left behind may be stranded in remote terrain, forced to navigate unfamiliar and potentially dangerous trails alone. As stories and videos about these situations circulate online, social media users are sharing strong reactions, debating relationship red flags, and questioning how common this behavior really is. In this video, we're taking a look at some of the most viral reactions and discussions about the Alpine divorce trend.
Can we talk about this now? This has been going on for forever. I love that it's finally getting some real press, but let's talk about how common it is. I consider myself to be a very average marriage individual. It was 19 years, okay? So when I got my divorce, I came to him and I said, okay, I can't do this anymore. And I was in tears and I was upset, and he looked relieved. If you're relieved, why didn't you ask for one? Anyway, okay, looks like we're not going to have a fight over this. Great. I'll go ahead and I'll process the paperwork. Oh, wait, let's not do it right now. What? Let's not do it right now. Let's wait a year till our next anniversary. What? He wanted to wait a year, a whole year, to get divorced so we could, on our anniversary, go to New Zealand. He wanted to go to New Zealand to go to the top of an active volcano, the one they used in The Lord of the Rings, and throw our rings in symbolically. What? Okay, I thought he was kidding because that's a joke, right? He wasn't kidding. When I presented him with the divorce paperwork, he was enraged. I thought we were going to wait a year. Yeah. I was kind of agreeing to that because I thought you were kidding. He almost became violent because I had the divorce paperwork and I was getting a notary out there that day to get the paperwork signed. Yeah. So, would anybody like to tell me what they think might have happened when we were climbing up to the top of that volcano on our anniversary? I don't think we need multiple choice. I think you all know. Yeah. This is very common. So show some common sense. And if it's a situation where you're with somebody, even though you've trusted them for years and you feel like, well, they would never do anything to hurt me, but something in the back of your mind goes tick, 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 tick. Listen to that. Listen to your gut, ladies. That at the end of the day, listen to your gut.
Have y'all heard of this Alpine divorce thing? Buckle in, because it's basically when you're in a relationship with a man and he does something to leave you stranded in the place you are. So he may take you hiking and then decide to leave you. He may take you to a gas station in the middle of the night and tell you to get out to go pay, and then you turn around and he's not there. Like, it's this whole thing where the men in your life, your romantic man, whatnot, basically abandons you. Hiking, gas stations, new cities, towns, hell, even new countries. They abandon you. That is wild to me. And apparently the red pill broadcast not red broadcast the red pill podcast bros, they call it something else. Like, I can't remember the name of it right now. But yeah, they're like, yeah, you gotta do that so you could test out the woman. Y'all just leave it. These cannot be the men that y'all say need to be husbands. The male loneliness epidemic is not lonely enough, especially with men pulling it. But also notice how whenever there's like a red pill guy and he's like, oh, you know, do this, do that, blah, blah, blah. He's usually the type of guy that women are not actively going after. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I just found out about this thing called Alpine divorce. I just found out about this thing, and I realized I have experienced it and lived through it. So let's sit down, let's talk about my Alpine divorce. For those of you who don't know what Alpine divorce is, it is a phenomenon where women are left alone while hiking with a man. There's maybe more into it, I literally just ran across it. I'm gonna set the scene because I feel so good knowing that I'm not alone in this experience. It's 5 years ago. Someone I met online, a guy that I really liked, asked if I wanted to move him from Idaho to Southern California. I said yes, that sounds so fun. We're gonna do a road trip all the way to Washington down. And I still think I saw such beautiful things on this trip. But there's a kicker. He needed me to drive his stick shift truck across while he drove in a separate car, and I followed him. Okay, now I know how to drive stick shift, but I live in a very flat place, and I've driven stick shift maybe a handful of times, but I felt confident enough that maybe I could refresh my skills and do it. There were multiple times on this trip that I did stall out, especially on hills in San Francisco. That was crazy. Where I experienced my Alpine divorce was in a 10-day trip or something, maybe less, it could have been 7 days or something. On this trip, about past halfway through it, we go to see the Redwood, I think it's a national park, Redwood's National Park, right? And I'm driving behind him, and all of a sudden, I've lost him. And I'm in a car that I don't really know how to drive that well, and I'm like, where is he? No big deal, I'll call him, right? No signal. I drive around Redwood for 35, 45 minutes by myself. I'm freaking out. I'm thinking, okay, maybe we just lost each other, whatever. I finally get out to the highway, out of the park and get onto a highway, get some cell service, and no text, no call from him, nothing. No, hey, where are you? I could have drove off with this man's car. Nonetheless, I call, because I was very naive at this time in my life and very young. I call, I'm like, hey, we must have lost each other, like, where are you? And he's like, oh, I'm here, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, where's that? It's on the opposite end of the park. So we have to drive up, meet each other, no cell service, nothing. I think I actually had to meet him somewhere, or I got off on the highway, he was like 4 miles, exits down. It was a whole fucking thing. I'm across the country meeting a stranger, and you abandoned me. Turns out, he was driving different routes through the park so he could take pictures of his truck. I like to take pictures. Here's the picture I took at Redwoods, actually. If I can crop it in, I don't know. I may not be able to. But yeah, we eventually met back up. No surprise that this did not end up well when I got back to my original state, like ghosted. Not me, like he ghosted me. I was also very young, okay, but he ghosted me. We did not speak again. It was a very bad ending, and there were multiple times throughout the trip that he would just leave me somewhere. Just fucking leave me. And we're seeing like all these beautiful places and everything. I'm like, well, I guess I'll just sit down and enjoy it by myself. I did not realize there is a name for this term, and it is like literally abuse. I did not know this. I thought this was a unique experience. I'm like kind of sad, but also like so relieved to know that I'm not alone in this. Like, this is insane.
Some men do not have the patience to wait for years for their wife to die from the stress they've inflicted on them. So guess what they're doing? They're taking their wives to dangerous locations and they're leaving them there to die. They're taking them on hikes, they're taking them rock climbing, they're taking them out on lakes, and they're abandoning them. Or they're letting them fall through a hole in a cave. That way the death does not look suspicious. The death is going to look accidental. One man went as far as taking out a life insurance policy on his wife 2 months before he pushed her off a cliff and called 911 and pretended that she fell. Luckily, investigators were able to connect the dots and realize that her death was not an accident. And this is so common that it's been given a term called Alpine divorce. This is nothing new. The first time this term was coined was back in the 1800s because men have been taking their wives out into the woods and leaving them there to die. Men have been taking their wives on hikes, taking them out on lakes, taking them mountain climbing, rock climbing, bungee jumping, and in other dangerous locations, and secretly plotting to end those women's lives. They believe that if nature does the work for them, they won't be held liable. They can pretend to be the grieving husband or the grieving boyfriend. They can cash in on their life insurance policy and move on to the next supply. Because that's what many of them have done. They've abandoned their first partner in the woods, claimed her death was an accident, then got married to someone else, and now in 2026, this term is trending all over again, and it's just another reminder to women to remain vigilant, because some of these dangerous men are walking among us.
Stop calling it an Alpine divorce. By the way, was coined by a man. Call it what it is. Premeditated endangerment. Society's obsessed with using cutesy slang to minimize extreme harm done to women. It turns abandoning an inexperienced partner in a death zone into the equivalent of a messy breakup. That's not what happened to Kirsten Gerner. She slowly froze to death while the man she trusted walked away. And here's what makes it way worse. He did it to an ex-girlfriend too. It's a pattern that's cost too many women, and hiding it behind pretty words only benefit the ones carrying out the harm.
Stories about the so-called Alpine divorce trend have sparked a lot of debate online about relationships, safety, and basic respect between partners. Some people say it's a major red flag, while others think the internet may be exaggerating the issue. What do you think? Is abandoning a partner during a hike a serious relationship deal breaker, or are people overreacting? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this compilation, be sure to like the video, comment your opinion, share it with someone who loves viral internet topics, and subscribe for more trending stories and reactions. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.